Gospel music, born from the spiritual cries of enslaved Black Americans, has long been hailed as humanity's purest bridge to the divine. But few know that many of its brightest stars sacrificed their own truths to keep that bridge standing. They sang of heaven while navigating earthly hell. They saved millions of souls, yet couldn't free their own from the shadows of shame. Reverend Dolores Berry, a transgender gospel singer and minister, has spent decades advocating for LGBTQ+ inclusion in the Black church. Her powerful contralto voice, honed in Chicago's South Side churches, became a tool for activism. After transitioning in the 1990s, Berry faced ostracism but persisted, founding ministries that blend gospel music with social justice. Her rendition of His Eye is on the Sparrow at LGBTQ+ Pride services has become iconic, symbolizing divine love beyond gender norms. God doesn't make mistakes, Berry preaches, merging scripture with queer liberation. Pioneering sound. Long before Elvis Presley or Chuck Berry, Sister Rosetta Tharpe electrified gospel with her Gibson SG, blending sacred lyrics with rock and roll riffs. Her 1945 hit Strange Things Happening Every Day topped the R&B charts, making her the first gospel artist to cross over secularly. Love and Partnership. Tharpe's collaboration with Marie Knight transcended music. The duo's chemistry on stage mirrored a private romance, though societal norms forced them to mask their relationship as mere friendship. Their 1951 wedding concert at Griffith Stadium, a publicity stunt for Tharpe's third marriage to a man, highlighted the performative hoops queer artists jumped through to survive. Cultural impact. Tharpe's flamboyant stage presence and unapologetic artistry laid the groundwork for rock legends like Little Richard and Johnny Cash. Yet, her queer identity remained shrouded until biographers like Gail Wald unearthed her truth. In 2018, Tharpe was posthumously inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, a belated nod to the queer Black woman who helped birth a genre. Marie Knight's rich contralto was the bedrock of Sister Rosetta Tharpe's groundbreaking 1940s recordings, including Up Above My Head. Their partnership, both musical and romantic, thrived in secrecy. Tharpe staged a sham marriage to a man in 1951 to protect their careers. Knight's resilience was tested again in 1969 when a house fire killed her mother and 2 children, a tragedy she channeled into her solo work. Knight's 2007 album Gospel Train fused traditional hymns with blues grit, reflecting a lifetime of sorrow and strength. Biographer Gail Wald notes, Marie didn't just sing gospel, she lived it, surviving heartbreak after heartbreak with a faith that refused to die. Though often overshadowed by Tharpe, Knight's legacy endures as a testament to love's power in all its forms. Bishop Yvette Flunder's ministry began in San Francisco's AIDS-ravaged Castro district, where she founded the City of Refuge UCC in 1991. A powerhouse vocalist raised in the Black church, Flunder merges gospel music with social justice, creating a haven for LGBTQ+ believers rejected by mainstream congregations. Her album Where There's Love 2015 pairs soaring spirituals with calls for racial and queer equality. Flunder's sermons, like her viral 2019 TED Talk, challenge religious hypocrisy. If your theology doesn't free the oppressed, it's not gospel. It's gossip. Her church now spans multiple cities, offering addiction support, housing aid, and a choir where trans voices lead hymns. We're not rewriting scripture, she insists. We're reclaiming its true message, love without exception. Alex Bradford, known as the man who saved gospel music, was a flamboyant composer and singer whose theatrical style reshaped gospel in the 1950s. Openly gay in an era of intense stigma, Bradford's hits like Too Close to Heaven blended drama with spirituality, influencing artists like Little Richard. He co-founded the landmark musical Don't Bother Me, I Can't Cope, and mentored a young Andrae Crouch. Despite his vibrant stage presence, Bradford's sexuality was an open secret in gospel circles, a testament to his unapologetic authenticity. His legacy lives on in the gospel plays and choirs that continue to embrace theatricality as worship. Youth anthem to outcast Marcia Stevens Pino's 1969 song For Those Tears I Died became a cornerstone of contemporary Christian music. Yet, when she came out as a lesbian in 1979, churches burned her records and revoked her performances. Rebuilding a ministry undeterred, Stevens Pino founded Balm in Gilead Ministries, crafting worship spaces for LGBTQ+ believers. Her 1995 album, In the Name of the Father, directly addressed her exile. You say I'm an abomination, but God calls me his own. Impact today, her music is reclaimed by affirming congregations, symbolizing the resilience of queer faith. I didn't leave God, she says. God stayed with me. Gospel's electric prodigy, with 6 stellar awards by 25, Tonex, Anthony Williams fused gospel with funk and electronica. His 2004 album Out the Box sold 500,000 copies, but his androgynous style sparked rumors. The 2009 revelation on The Lexi Show, Tonex admitted same-sex attractions, triggering his exile. Gospel left me, he said, rebranding as B. Slade. His 2013 dance track, Gay, became a queer anthem, merging club beats with defiance. I'm fabulous, baby, and Jesus loves me. Legacy. Though banned from gospel airwaves, Tonex's influence persists in artists like Kirk Franklin, who credits him for pushing creative boundaries. Youth group hero. As frontman of Everyday Sunday, Trey Pearson's Wake Up, 2003, became a Christian rock staple. But behind the scenes, he prayed for healing from same-sex desires. Coming out in 2016, Pearson's heartfelt letter to fans declared, I'm gay. The fallout was swift. Canceled tours, lost friendships, and estrangement from his wife. Yet his solo album Love is Love, 2018, found resonance, blending worship with queer pride. Advocacy now a speaker for organizations like GLAAD, Pearson bridges evangelical and LGBTQ+ worlds. God didn't mess up when he made me, he asserts. Rise and disappearance. Jennifer Knapp's raw, folksy albums like Kansas, 1998, sold over 1 million copies. But in 2002, she vanished, fleeing to Australia amid internal turmoil over her sexuality. Returning authentically, Knapp re-emerged in 2010 with Letting Go, an album grappling with faith and identity. Tracks like Inside lamented, I've got secrets even I can't tell. Legacy founding Inside Out Faith, Knapp tours churches and pride festivals, urging Christians to embrace LGBTQ+ members. Faith isn't about having all the answers, she says. It's about asking the questions together. Early life. Raised in a strict pastor's home, Nicole Mullen's Redeemer, 2000, became a worship classic. Yet, she privately wrestled with her attraction to women. Self-acceptance. After years of turmoil, Mullen came out quietly in the 2010s. I'm finally free, she shared in interviews, though she avoids labels. Her recent work, like Freedom 2022, celebrates spiritual and personal liberation. Impact Mullen's journey reflects a growing trend of LGBTQ+ Christians reclaiming their faith, without abandoning their truth. Church roots. Julian Baker's ethereal vocals were honed in Memphis church choirs, where she internalized hymns while grappling with her queerness. Lyric as prayer albums like Turn Out the Lights 2017 wrestle with divine absence. Why do you tell me to call if you won't pick up the phone? Baker's collaboration with Phoebe Bridgers in Boy Genius bridges sacred and secular, resonating with queer listeners seeking spiritual solace. Legacy Baker proves that faith and queerness aren't mutually exclusive. They can coexist in raw, beautiful tension. Early life and rise to fame. Born in 1931 in Depression-era Chicago, James Cleveland's musical journey began in the pews of Pilgrim Baptist Church, where he absorbed the rich traditions of Black gospel. By his teens, he was already accompanying Mahalia Jackson, his raspy baritone voice hinting at the revolutionary artistry to come. Musical revolution. Cleveland's 1962 album, Peace Be Still, with the angelic choir of Nutley, New Jersey, became a crossover sensation, selling over 1 million copies. His fusion of traditional hymns with jazz and blues rhythms redefined gospel, earning him the title King of Gospel. He co-founded the Gospel Music Workshop of America in 1968, nurturing talents like Aretha Franklin and Albertina Walker. The hidden struggle. Despite his public persona, Cleveland lived a life of quiet contradiction. Close confidants, including gospel singer Charles Clancy, later revealed his same-sex relationships, a truth he guarded fiercely. His death in 1991 from AIDS-related complications sparked whispers but no public reckoning. Cleveland's story underscores the agonizing choice many LGBTQ+ individuals faced: suppress their truth or risk exile from the spiritual communities they loved. Legacy today, Cleveland's influence endures in the gospel choirs and artists he mentored. His life serves as a poignant reminder of the cost of silence and the resilience required to create joy for others while harboring private pain. Dennis Jernigan's 1980s worship anthem, "You Are My All in All," became a staple in churches worldwide, even as he privately grappled with his sexuality. After years of conversion therapy and marriage to a woman, Jernigan came out as gay in 2019, renouncing the harmful theology he once promoted. His raw memoir, Singing Over the Bones, details his journey from self-loathing to acceptance. Today, Jernigan rewrites his hymns with inclusive language, offering them as apologies to LGBTQ+ believers. His story underscores the harm of exclusion and the healing power of truth. Though famed for modern dance, Alvin Ailey's work was deeply rooted in gospel and spirituals. His masterpiece, Revelations, 1960, used hymns like Wade in the Water to celebrate Black spiritual resilience. Ailey, who is gay, infused his choreography with the ecstasy and anguish of the Black church, creating a visceral dialogue between faith and identity. "I'm trying to show the world we are all human," he said, a philosophy that made his dance company a sanctuary for queer artists of color. Ailey's legacy proves that gospel's spirit transcends music, moving bodies and souls alike. As the openly lesbian niece of gospel legends, the Clark sisters, Tonia Hughes Campbell carves her own path in the genre. A powerhouse vocalist, she's performed with her aunts while advocating for LGBTQ+ visibility in gospel. Her 2022 single Free tackles the tension between faith and sexuality. "God loves me as I am, no need to hide, no need to pretend." Though some family members initially struggled with her truth, Campbell's courage mirrors the Clark sisters' own revolutionary impact on gospel. "Ministry isn't about perfection," she says, "it's about showing up as you are." Ray Bolt's 1988 hit Thank You became an anthem in Christian households, imagining heavenly gratitude for earthly kindness. For decades, the Grammy-winning artist epitomized evangelical sincerity, until his 2008 coming out shattered his career. "I couldn't lie anymore," Bolt said, revealing he'd hidden his sexuality to protect his family and fans. His post-coming out album, True, Worship and Love, 2014, reimagined worship songs with pronouns changed, offering solace to closeted believers. Though exiled from Christian radio, Bolts now performs at Pride festivals, bridging his faith and truth. "God didn't abandon me," he insists. "He led me to freedom." Beverly Glenn Copeland's ethereal voice and synth-driven spirituals, like 1986's Keyboard Fantasies, fused gospel roots with Afrofuturism. Assigned male at birth, Glenn Copeland transitioned in the 2000s, later describing their music as prayers for a hurting world. Their 2021 track La Vita channels gospel's call and response tradition into a meditation on divine interconnectedness. A classically trained musician raised in a Black church, Glenn Copeland's work, rediscovered in the 2010s, resonates with queer seekers. "The Creator sings through all of us," they say, "no matter who we are." Reverend Yolanda, a drag queen and ordained minister, redefines gospel performance. Her 2019 album Just As I Am pairs hymns like Amazing Grace with campy theatrics, critiquing religious hypocrisy. Born Kevin Moore, she founded the House of Grace Ministry, hosting gospel drag brunches that blend worship and queer joy. Jesus hung with outcasts, she preaches while sporting sequined robes. Her viral Drag Queen Christmas Carols videos juxtapose traditional carols with LGBTQ+ narratives, making her a polarizing yet prophetic voice in modern gospel. Randy Roberts, a tenor for legendary groups like the Fairfield Four, spent decades singing gospel's male-dominated quartets while hiding his sexuality. After coming out in 2015, he faced backlash but persisted, releasing solo work like Fearfully and Wonderfully Made 2020, a soul-stirring declaration of self-acceptance. Roberts now mentors young LGBTQ+ gospel artists, urging them to sing your truth, even if the church isn't ready. His journey from closeted quartet star to outspoken advocate mirrors gospel's own slow evolution toward inclusion. Grace Baldridge, known as Semler, shattered barriers in 2021 when their album Preacher's Kid became the first openly queer project to top Christian iTunes charts. Raised in an evangelical household, Semler's journey was marked by internal conflict as they grappled with their LGBTQ+ identity within a rigid religious framework. The album's track Bethlehem directly confronts evangelical hypocrisy, with lines like, "I'll meet you in Bethlehem," / "Where the queer kids are still holy," blending biting critique with raw vulnerability. Semler's rise was fueled by TikTok, where Gen Z audiences embraced their unapologetic fusion of punk rock angst and spiritual yearning. Despite backlash, conservative radio stations banned their music, and some churches labeled them a false prophet. Semler's message resonated. "I'm not here to destroy faith," they asserted in a 2022 interview. "I'm here to expand it so everyone can see themselves in God's story." Their work has become an anthem for LGBTQ+ Christians navigating rejection, proving that faith and queerness can coexist. Before Lady Gaga's Born This Way, there was Carl Bean's 1977 disco anthem of the same name, a bold declaration of queer pride decades ahead of its time. Bean, a former Motown backup singer, transitioned from dance floors to pulpits after founding the Unity Fellowship Church in 1982, one of the first Black LGBTQ+ affirming religious movements. His ministry became a lifeline during the AIDS crisis, offering spiritual solace and practical support to those abandoned by their families and churches. Bean's mantra, "God is love and love is for everyone," challenged both religious and societal norms. He organized HIV education workshops and memorials for lives lost to the epidemic, often saying, "We don't bury secrets here, we celebrate truth." His legacy as a disco pioneer and spiritual revolutionary lives on in the inclusive congregations he inspired, proving gospel's heartbeat extends far beyond traditional sanctuaries. John Holliday's celestial voice, spanning 4 octaves, was nurtured in the Pentecostal churches of Rosenberg, Texas. By age 10, he was a choir soloist, though he sensed his queerness didn't fit the purity culture of his upbringing. At Juilliard, Holliday embraced his countertenor range, a voice type often sidelined in classical music, and his identity as a gay man. His 2020 run on The Voice showcased this duality. He performed gospel-tinged jazz standards like Misty with flamboyant elegance, earning standing ovations. Judges marveled at his technical prowess, but Holliday's true triumph was his visibility. "God didn't make a mistake with me," he told Rolling Stone. "My voice, my queerness, it's all part of his plan." Today, Holliday mentors young LGBTQ+ artists, urging them to sing your truth even if the world isn't ready to hear it. Prodigy to superstar. A child prodigy, Billy Preston played piano for Mahalia Jackson at 10 and toured with Ray Charles by 16. His gospel roots earned him the nickname the Fifth Beatle, after his iconic keyboard solos on Get Back and Let It Be. closet and conflict. Preston's sexuality clashed with his Pentecostal upbringing. In his memoir, That's the Way God Planned It, he wrote, "I prayed for God to take these feelings away." Struggling with addiction and legal troubles, he oscillated between fame and self-loathing. Late recognition. Before his 2006 death, Preston began acknowledging his truth, telling friends, "I'm tired of pretending." His posthumous recognition as a gay icon in documentaries like The Gospel According to Billy reframes his legacy, not just as a musical genius, but as a man torn between faith and self-acceptance. Defying gender norms. Standing at 5'2", Wilmer Broadnax's towering voice made him a staple in 1940s gospel quartets like the Five Blind Boys of Mississippi. Born female in 1916, he transitioned in adulthood, living stealthily in an era when transgender identities were erased. A life in shadows, Broadnax's truth emerged only after his 1992 death, when a medical examiner noted his assigned female sex. His ability to thrive in the hyper-masculine quartet world, a space built on patriarchal bravado, speaks to his unwavering self-knowledge. Legacy of resilience. Broadnax's story, unearthed by historian Lynn Abbott, challenges historical narratives about gender and gospel. He paved the way for modern transgender artists like Shay Diamond, proving that authenticity can resonate even in silence. Though best known for Lavender Country, the first openly gay country album, Patrick Haggerty's music dripped with gospel fervor. Raised by a devout Catholic father who accepted his queerness, Haggerty's 1973 track Crying These Cocksucking Tears twisted hymn-like melodies into queer liberation anthems. Before his 2022 death, he reflected, "Gospel taught me to fight for justice, even if the church disowned me." His fusion of camp, country, and spiritual protest inspired generations of LGBTQ+ artists to reclaim sacred sounds. From Ray Bolt's quiet courage to Reverend Yolanda's glittering pulpit, these 25 legends prove gospel's heartbeats far beyond dogma. Their lives compose a New Testament, one where faith and authenticity harmonize, and the good news truly means all are welcome. As the choir grows, so does the hope that someday every voice will sing without fear. In March, former Illinois state legislator Aaron Schock took a significant step by publicly revealing his gay identity on Instagram. Although his announcement sparked a mix of support and controversy, given his past voting record on LGBTQ+ rights, it opened up a critical dialogue about the intersection of personal identity and public service. Aaron's experience reflects the complexities of navigating political landscapes while staying true to oneself. His story serves as a reminder that even in the face of public scrutiny, personal integrity and self-acceptance remain paramount. It invites a broader conversation on how public figures can evolve and advocate for change from within the political system. Spanish singer Pablo Alborán, known for his soulful ballads and evocative performances, shared a stirring video on Instagram during a month dedicated to Pride. His message was a call to listen deeply to one's inner voice and re-examine what truly matters in life: love, happiness, and meaningful connection. Pablo's passionate expression transcends the realm of music, resonating with individuals who are on their own paths to self-discovery. His heartfelt appeal encourages fans to embrace vulnerability and to cherish the values that underpin a fulfilled life. Through his art, Pablo Alborán has shown that music is not only a medium for expression, but also a powerful catalyst for change and acceptance. French figure skater Guillaume Cesaro, a 2018 Olympic silver medalist, made a joyful public declaration in May by sharing an Instagram post featuring a heartfelt photo of him with his boyfriend. Accompanied by a message celebrating love, diversity, and the beauty of being true to oneself, Guillaume's post was a vivid reminder that authenticity is a celebration of life. His confident demeanor and genuine smile captured the essence of what it means to embrace every facet of one's identity. As an athlete on the global stage, Guillaume's openness serves to inspire fans and fellow competitors alike, proving that personal courage can shine even in the competitive world of sports. At just 25 years old, Avery Wilson has already carved out a remarkable career as a singer, songwriter, and dancer. Known for his appearance on The Voice Season 3 and the successful release of 4 albums, Avery's journey took a defining turn in July when he came out as bisexual. Through impassioned posts on Twitter and Instagram, he declared, "I am who I am and love what I love." This bold affirmation not only celebrates his own identity, but also serves as a rallying cry for young artists everywhere. Avery's story is a vibrant example of how embracing one's true self can ignite creativity, empower communities, and inspire future generations to live with unapologetic honesty. Born as Darren Zanyar, this iconic pop artist quickly rose to fame in Sweden, captivating audiences with his energetic performances and memorable hits. In August, Darren courageously stepped into the limelight by publicly embracing his true identity. His heartfelt announcement was more than a personal milestone, it was a rallying cry for self-expression. Through his music and public persona, Darren demonstrates that the willingness to be honest with oneself can lead to tremendous creative breakthroughs. His journey underscores the idea that authenticity fuels art and fosters a deeper connection with fans who see their own struggles and triumphs reflected in his story. With acclaimed roles in blockbuster films such as Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, and Detective Pikachu, as well as the compelling Netflix series The Get Down, Justice Smith has become a recognizable face in Hollywood. In early August, he shared an intimate message on Instagram that went well beyond his on-screen characters. Justice's public declaration about embracing his identity came with a powerful statement on love and acceptance. Alongside his boyfriend, Nicholas Ashe, who is known for his role in Queen Sugar, Justice's candid post emphasized that everyone deserves the freedom to live authentically. His words resonated deeply, encouraging others to break free from societal constraints and celebrate the beauty of their true selves. In June, international soccer star Thomas Beattie made history by becoming the 3rd professional player in England and the 2nd in the United Kingdom to publicly come out as gay. His candid Instagram post detailed the challenges and victories of his journey towards self-acceptance. Thomas's declaration is not only significant for its personal courage, but also for its wider impact on the sports community. His willingness to defy traditional expectations in a predominantly conservative field has paved the way for future athletes. By breaking down barriers, Thomas highlights that the sports arena can serve as a platform for social change, encouraging inclusivity and challenging outdated stereotypes. Recognized for his memorable roles in series such as The Vampire Diaries, Quantico, and The Flash, Rick Cosnett has long been admired for his versatility and charm. In a revealing Instagram video shared in February, Rick opened up about the personal challenges he faced while discovering his true self. His narrative, marked by moments of vulnerability and determination, serves as a reminder that the journey toward authenticity is rarely linear. Rick's story is a source of inspiration for anyone grappling with self-doubt, demonstrating that embracing one's identity, even when the path is difficult, can lead to profound personal growth and a deeper sense of inner peace. J. August Richards is a creative force known for his work as an actor, writer, and producer. His contributions to popular series like Angel, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Good Burger, and Council of Dads on NBC have left an indelible mark on audiences worldwide. In late April, he publicly revealed his authentic self, breaking free from the confines of societal expectations. J. August's declaration is imbued with a spirit of artistic freedom and resilience. His story not only champions the importance of self-expression, but also invites others to explore their creative potential without fear of judgment, reinforcing the idea that true artistry comes from living one's truth. At the inaugural Pride weekend hosted by the British Elite League in January, Manchester Storm's Zach Sullivan made a bold statement by disclosing his non-binary identity. His announcement resonated far beyond the confines of a traditionally masculine sport, sending a clear message that authenticity and self-expression know no boundaries. Zach's openness challenges long-held norms within the sports community, inspiring others to embrace their identities without hesitation. His story highlights the transformative power of visibility and the importance of representing diverse voices in every arena, from local rinks to international competitions. Isabella Avila, aka Only JS, is best known for fast-talking, info-packed videos about psychology, the brain, and weird science stuff. But beneath that sharp delivery is a complex, evolving creator who's learning in real time. After facing controversy, she didn't disappear. She owned up, made amends, and kept going. And in the process, she showed what real accountability looks like. As a queer woman in STEM, Isabella is breaking stereotypes while cracking jokes. Her videos remind us that queer representation belongs everywhere, including neuroscience. We're all learning. Just do your best, and when you know better, do better. JS. JoJo Siwa burst into the spotlight with glittery bows, bubblegum pop, and Nickelodeon-level energy. But when she came out in 2021, the world saw something even brighter than her sequins: her bravery. Coming out as a lesbian at 17, while at the peak of her fame as a children's performer, wasn't easy. JoJo risked criticism, brand deals, and millions of followers. But she chose truth over comfort, and she's only grown stronger. Now, her TikToks are a mix of unfiltered realness, high-energy dance routines, tender moments, and honest insights about heartbreak and identity. Her journey has helped countless queer teens feel seen, especially those who didn't know they were allowed to sparkle. If you love who you are, no one can dim your light. JoJo Siwa. With her signature skater style, charming smile, and totally relaxed vibe, Avery Cyrus has become one of the most beloved queer creators on TikTok. She's the kind of person who makes you feel safe, like you could say anything and still be accepted. Avery doesn't perform queerness, she simply lives it. Her past relationship with JoJo Siwa drew major attention, but it was her consistent kindness, humor, and integrity that kept fans invested. She talks openly about gender roles, queer dating, and personal growth, all while keeping it real and grounded. Avery shows young queer people, especially tomboys and mask-presenting women, that softness and strength aren't opposites. They're partners. I'm just here to live my truth and maybe help someone else live theirs too. Avery. Amber's platform isn't about trends, it's about truth. As a Black lesbian woman, she brings a powerful voice to conversations around intersectionality, representation, and justice. Through skits, story times, and straight-up call-outs, Amber tackles racism, misogyny, homophobia, and everything in between. But she also makes space for joy, the kind of joy that only comes from living free. She's also a huge advocate for healthy queer relationships, gender expression, and dismantling internalized oppression. Her videos don't just entertain, they educate, and that's real influence. Being visible as a queer Black woman is my activism. Every day I show up, I create space. Amber. Gabrielle isn't just a creator, she's a thinker. She dives into deep, nuanced topics like biphobia, sexual agency, queer feminism, and gender identity with rare clarity. She's witty, warm, and wildly smart. You might come to her page for the aesthetics, the vibes, the slow-motion hair flips, but you'll stay for the insights. Gabrielle's gift is saying what so many queer women feel, but haven't found the words for yet. She makes you think, laugh, and most of all, feel understood. The world is complicated. Your identity doesn't have to be tidy to be valid. Gabrielle. Georgia's coming out to my mom video wasn't just viral. It was a cultural moment. Vulnerable, emotional, and overwhelmingly real. It gave millions of bisexual people a sense of recognition they didn't even know they needed. Since then, Georgia has used her platform to talk about love, mental health, sexuality, and family with such sincerity that it feels like you're FaceTiming a best friend. She's not flashy or overproduced. She's Georgia. Open-hearted, awkward at times, and deeply human. And that's exactly why so many people feel safe with her. Kayla Nicole Jones is internet royalty. Her hilariously exaggerated facial expressions and wild commentary birthed some of the most iconic memes of the last decade. But if you stop at the surface, you're missing the real beauty of Kayla's story. Beneath the comedy is a deeply introspective, resilient young woman navigating her sexuality, motherhood, and mental health in a world that hasn't always been kind, especially to queer Black women. She's opened up about her journey with identity and self-worth, all while continuing to make people laugh. That kind of duality, to carry pain and still choose joy, is rare. And it's sacred. Whether she's making a parody, talking candidly about postpartum depression, or showing her growth as a young queer mom, Kayla's content is a masterclass in vulnerability. She doesn't pretend to have it all figured out, she just shows up honestly. And that matters more than perfection ever could. Healing out loud is scary, but if it helps someone else do the same, totally worth it. Kayla? Sienna Mae Gomez first gained recognition for her body-positive content, dancing joyfully in her natural body, celebrating movement, and pushing back against beauty standards. But over time, she's revealed even more layers: deep emotional intelligence, quiet strength, and a fiercely inclusive spirit. Though she doesn't always put a label on her queerness, Sienna's openness about attraction, love, and emotional intimacy signals a queer-affirming worldview. She speaks to a generation that's increasingly fluid, not just in gender and sexuality, but in how they love, relate, and exist. Sienna's content is filled with softness, long walks in nature, meditative reflections, messy moments of growth. She doesn't perform for applause, she just is. And in doing so, she gives others permission to show up fully in their own bodies, emotions, and truths. You don't owe anyone a definition, just be honest with yourself. That's where the real freedom is. Sienna Mae Gomez. She's proof that being gentle is a form of resistance, especially in a world that often demands we shrink, perform, or hide. Chris Olsen might not be a queer woman, but his role as a vocal, visible, and consistent ally to the entire LGBTQ+ community, especially queer women and non-binary folks, makes him impossible to leave off this list. He's that rare kind of creator who uses his spotlight to share it. Whether he's teaming up with queer women creators, reposting their content, hyping them up in the comments, or shouting out issues that affect them, Chris is always there, showing up, supporting, amplifying. His content is a joyful mix of goofy day-in-the-life updates, hilarious trends, and deeply affirming messages of love and encouragement. He's got that rare ability to be funny and emotionally available, and he's not afraid to cry on camera, talk about therapy, or express affection for his friends. Chris shows the world that allyship isn't just about rainbow flags during Pride Month. It's about showing up consistently, listening more than talking, and celebrating others with zero ego. You don't need to be the center of the story to be part of the fight. Chris Olsen. He's not just the gay best friend everyone wishes they had. He's the kind of person who reminds us that true support is loud, loving, and deeply rooted in action. Tori McKenzie isn't trying to go viral. She's not chasing clout or curating some ultra-polished persona. Instead, she's quietly creating one of the most sincere corners of queer TikTok. And that's exactly why people are falling in love with her content. Her videos feel like a deep breath. Snippets of her cozy domestic life with her partner, late-night talks about identity, morning coffee rituals, goofy dances in sweats and socks. She doesn't try to define her gender or sexuality with precision. She just lives it. And that openness, that refusal to be confined, is deeply liberating to watch. Tori's presence is especially powerful for those who've never seen themselves reflected in mainstream media. Tomboyish, fluid, soft in their masculinity, gentle in their queerness. She gives permission for people to simply exist as they are, without apology or explanation. I don't know what label fits me best, and honestly, I don't care. I'm just here to love and be loved. Tori McKenzie. Her content is a reminder that queerness doesn't have to be loud to be revolutionary. Sometimes a quiet life filled with authenticity, joy, and mutual respect is the most radical thing of all. Sport, freestyle skiing, country, United States. A silver medalist at Sochi 2014, Gus Kenworthy shattered expectations when he came out as gay in 2015 in an ESPN cover story. His decision to share his truth while still actively competing made him one of the first openly gay male athletes in action sports, a field dominated by traditional masculinity. Gus didn't just stop at coming out. He became a public advocate, speaking at LGBTQ+ events, acting in mainstream shows, and even rescuing stray dogs in Russia during the Olympics. His visibility proved that gay men can be powerful, rugged, and unapologetically themselves. I didn't grow up with someone to look up to. That's why I came out. I wanted to be that person for the next generation. Sport, diving, country, United Kingdom. Tom Daley grew up in the public eye, competing at the Olympics when he was just 14. Behind the medals and TV cameras, he faced a quieter, more personal challenge, accepting his identity in a hyper-competitive, often macho environment. In 2013, Tom came out through a heartfelt YouTube video, and in doing so, helped pave the way for LGBTQ+ athletes everywhere. Since then, he's not only married Oscar-winning screenwriter Dustin Lance Black, but also become a father and a beloved advocate for queer visibility in sports. His gold medal win at Tokyo 2020, followed by photos of him knitting in the stands, made headlines worldwide, not just for his victory, but for his softness, his calm, and his pride. I feel incredibly proud to say that I am a gay man and also an Olympic champion. Sport, soccer, country, Canada. Quinn's name may be short, but their impact is monumental. In 2021, they became the first openly transgender and non-binary athlete to win an Olympic medal when Canada took gold in women's soccer at the Tokyo Games. Coming out in 2020, Quinn spoke openly about the anxiety and hope that came with living authentically on such a public stage. They use they/them pronouns and have pushed for greater understanding of gender diversity in sports, where binary categories often dominate. I feel proud seeing Quinn on the roster and my identity represented in sports. I hope this sparks change. Sport, basketball, country, United States. In 2013, Jason Collins made history as the first openly gay active player in a major American men's professional sport, NBA, NFL, MLB, NHL. At 7 feet tall, Jason had a long career as a dependable center in the NBA. But it was his coming out that truly changed the game. He faced both praise and backlash, but his bravery paved the way for others. Jason became a role model, meeting with President Obama, appearing on national talk shows, and working with advocacy groups to ensure that LGBTQ+ athletes feel supported. I'm a 34-year-old NBA center, I'm black, and I'm gay. That one sentence changed sports forever. Sport, basketball, country, United States. Brittany Griner isn't just known for her height, 6'9", and slam dunks, she's known for her raw power and resilience. Since being drafted first overall in 2013, she's become one of the most dominant players in WNBA history, winning Olympic golds and championships with the Phoenix Mercury. Griner came out as gay early in her career and has been a fierce advocate for LGBTQ+ youth and racial justice. In 2022, she was wrongfully detained in Russia, sparking international outrage. Her strength during that traumatic ordeal only deepened her legacy as a fighter both on and off the court. I've always been true to myself. That's the only way I know how to live. Sport, football, country, United States. When Carl Nassib came out via Instagram in 2021, he didn't just make headlines, he made history. As the first openly gay active NFL player, his announcement was met with overwhelming support from fans, teammates, and the league itself. What made it even more powerful? He coupled his message with a $100,000 donation to the Trevor Project, helping LGBTQ+ youth in crisis. Carl's moment was proof that times are changing, and that courage can exist even in the most tradition-bound spaces. I just want to take a quick moment to say that I'm gay. I've been meaning to do this for a while now. Simple, brave, revolutionary. Sport, soccer, country, United States. When Robbie Rogers came out in 2013, he initially retired from professional soccer. The fear of discrimination felt overwhelming, but the response from fans and teammates was so positive, he returned to the field with LA Galaxy later that year, making him the first openly gay male athlete to play in a top US professional soccer league. Since retiring, Robbie has built a family with his husband, TV producer Greg Berlanti, and continues to advocate for LGBTQ+ rights through writing, public speaking, and mentorship. For the first time in my life, I could play the game I loved as the person I truly was. Sport, snowboarding, country, Netherlands. Cheryl Maas is a Dutch snowboarding champion who's competed in multiple Winter Olympics. She's been openly gay since 2009 and is married to fellow snowboarder Steen Bruun-Keldas, with whom she shares 2 children. During the Sochi 2014 Olympics, held in Russia under a controversial anti-LGBTQ+ law, Cheryl subtly but powerfully protested by wearing gloves decorated with rainbow hearts. It was a quiet rebellion, but one that echoed loudly around the world. Visibility matters, even if it's through a rainbow on a glove. Sport, football, country, United States. In 2014, Michael Sam came out just before the NFL draft, becoming the first publicly gay player to be drafted into the NFL. The moment he kissed his boyfriend live on ESPN was historic and controversial. He never played a regular season game, but his legacy endures. Michael opened the floodgates. He made it okay for others to follow, and though his time in the NFL was short, his bravery helped shift a deeply entrenched culture. I am an openly proud gay man. I want to own that truth. Sport, soccer, country, United States. Megan Rapinoe isn't just a soccer superstar, she's a cultural force. With her signature pink hair, fiery spirit, and bold voice, she has become one of the most influential athletes of the 21st century. She helped lead the U.S. women's national team to victory in the 2015 and 2019 FIFA World Cups and secured Olympic gold in 2012. But Megan's power lies in more than just her footwork. She came out publicly as gay in 2012 and has since become an outspoken advocate for LGBTQ+ rights, racial justice, and gender equality. Whether she's kneeling in solidarity, calling out systemic bias, or kissing her fiancé, WNBA star Sue Bird, after a big win, Megan sends a clear message. Greatness is rooted in authenticity. Being a gay female athlete, I know what it means to look at someone who represents you and feel seen. I want to be that for others.